I just didn't want that poopery thing to go on forever. I just wanted it to fucking end.
That's fair.
Okay. One final mic test.
It was just awkward when you. I mean, I wouldn't say awkward.
I think it was fine. I think it was fine.
High School Musical.
Okay. I think we're ready to record. Oh wait, we've been recording. I've been bamboozled. Have you been recording since? No. Okay.
You'll see when I started recording. I think we got some pretty good stuff.
So, welcome everybody to the second episode of Half Rate. The half rate, where there's only half the people, but it's double the awesomeness. Woo!
It's like when you raise something to half the power, and
it doubles it.
Yeah, does it? No.
No.
I don't know
what does it do?
No. But if you like the base log of logarithms of like a half, I don't know. There's some mathematical function, definitely.
So basically, there is some way using math that you can use half to create more.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely. Wait. Well, you just
multiply.
divide by half.
Divide by half, and you're good.
You're doubling.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So we're just dividing by half. That's what we're doing here at the half rate.
The rate dividing. Yeah.
So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Life has been the same, mostly.
It's funny that you say that.
Well, I've been through something I'm just not going to talk about on the podcast, but we can talk about other things, fun things. For example, I just made this heavenly pasta for me and Colin.
It's true. We just ate it.
Delicious.
About 23 minutes ago.
23 minutes ago.
That's a rough estimate.
So there was garlic, fresh tomatoes from the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Right?
You want to talk a bit about the woman who haggled you into purchasing her tomatoes?
Okay, so this woman, she walked up to me. I was walking by after eating this delicious burger, and she was like, "Hey, kid, you see these tomatoes? They're fresh." And I'm like, "Yeah, they look fresh."
Oh my god.
And she was like, "You can do a lot of things with tomatoes." and that just like, she sold me.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like that.
That's how you sell something to a person. You let them know like that this thing can be used in a lot of different ways, and then boom.
Were they cheap?
It was $1 per tomato. No, it was like 80 cents per tomato.
Okay.
But they were like farmers market tomatoes. They were nice. They were the really red ones.
Organic. And they were nice tomatoes. I witnessed the chopping of these tomatoes, and they chopped cleanly.
They stayed together. And that's what you want in a tomato.
It wasn't just magically tomato juice the moment you chopped it.
Mm-hmm. Like, you want firm, but yet juicy tomatoes, right?
Yeah, like an orange.
Like an orange, like a grapefruit, like most things, you know?
For some reason, half the time tomatoes from the supermarket, like you chop into them, but your knife doesn't just pierce the skin, it like droops, you know what I mean? Like it, like, and this isn't not a sharp knife, like I'm using a sharp knife, but it's still like the tomato skin doesn't want to cut. It's really firm, probably like pesticides make it firm, and then it like to like keep bugs from biting into it or some shit, but then it ends up with like, you end up with tomato mush because the skin doesn't give way quick enough.
Yeah, and tomatoes at grocery stores are often stored for a very long amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, it's normal for the tomatoes you get at grocery stores to be like 6 months old at least, right? So you're not getting fresh tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah, because they
Do
have
they
methods
freeze
of
them?
preserving them. I believe a lot of times they do freeze them, but it's just like keeping them in really cold temperatures is good enough to keep vegetables cold. I mean, to keep vegetables lasting, right? And the thing is, they're not nearly as fresh as something you can get from like a farmer's market. And I wasn't going to buy anything at the farmer's market, but man, these ladies, they kept trying to sell me things. I just bought the tomatoes, but I almost bought garlic and onions too. Almost.
Damn, you should have bought onions because you didn't have onions.
That's true, but I thought I had onions.
For your sauce.
I only realized that once I got home.
I do not have a problem with grocery store onions. I can't think of how onions would be better.
I mean,
grocery store onions are satisfactory to me.
Onions only get good up until a certain point. Like, you can have bad onions and you can have good onions, but you never have, like, gourmet onions. I don't think, like, gourmet, like, restaurants have onions that are so much more tastier than our onions. Right? And it's probably due to, like, the onions being such an overpowering, spicy kind of taste.
Well, sometimes they look better. Like, sometimes the restaurant will put, like, a really nice, crisp red onion on a burger, and it's like, well, that looks good, but...
Ooh, yeah.
But it's not like it changes the flavor much. I feel like onions are onions. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Onions are onions.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But you know what is better with higher quality?
Yeah, what?
Garlic.
Yeah. Really? I was literally just going to say garlic doesn't make much of a difference to me.
Garlic, there's a huge difference. High quality garlic just makes the biggest difference ever. Like, grocery store garlic is just nothing compared to, like, freshly grown good garlic.
Yeah.
Because garlic loses its flavor over time. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Call me white, but, like, 3 or 4 cloves of garlic is often enough for me, and it doesn't seem to make much of a difference as to how long it's been sitting in my cupboard.
He is white, so I'm going to call you white.
Yeah, I told you to call me white. That was
white.
Perfectly legal.
Yeah. You white person.
You're half white.
I'm half white.
And you're half Asian. Do Asians care about garlic? Not that much.
Asians love garlic. I don't know what you're talking about.
I guess in, like, ramen and stuff. Yeah.
It's not just ramen. You know nothing about Korean food, man.
Well, you're right. Tell me more.
Korean food uses garlic all the time.
Yeah.
Like, almost anything that you can think of that's Korean food uses at least a little bit of garlic.
Okay.
At least that's what my Korean grandmother taught me. She's like, if you don't have garlic at home, you know, you're not doing something right.
As you said that, a list of things I can think of that are Korean food popped up in my head. And, like, my head was all ready. It was, like, things you can think of that are Korean food. There was a nice bold title, and then there were a whole bunch of little tick boxes. And then...
What were they?
Nothing popped up next to the tick box. Kimchi?
See, you don't know
Kimchi, right?
Kimchi.
Yeah, that's Korean.
Okay.
That's the only thing I... Oh, and bulgogi.
Bulgogi, yes.
Those are 2 things.
Yes.
We had Korean barbecue once, but that was mostly what I know as similarly white ingredients just prepared in a Korean traditional way.
Okay, you
apart
got
from
me on
the
the kimchi. The kimchi does not have garlic in it. So, well, usually. The thing is with kimchi, you can make it however you want. But the average Korean kimchi, I'd say, does not have garlic in it.
But that bulgogi beef definitely had garlic in it. The one that you prepared for me had lots of garlic in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Garlic is like this miracle food that you just chuck into something and it just tastes good.
Hi, I don't mean to offend garlic. Garlic is great. I use garlic in everything. I just, when I think of it, I think of more Italian/white preparations. But maybe that's just because I usually prepare those dishes. And I've never made anything particularly Asian that has a lot of garlic in it. Although you put
Asian food together.
Sometimes I put, Thai foods, Thai stir fries. I'll put a little bit of garlic in, but I don't know that it's necessary. I think the Thai flavoring leans a lot on like lime and lime. That's for some reason that's what I think of.
Thai food. Peanuts.
What's the oil?
Chili oil?
No. Sesame oil. There's a lot of sesame. Or is that Chinese?
Really? No, that's Korean. I use sesame oil in like almost every single thing that I make.
You know what? I don't know the distinctions between cultural foods. I just kind of make what I think is good. And it doesn't matter to me what culture it belongs to.
That is a good way of thinking about it. Like, you don't really need to... Cooking shouldn't have boundaries, in my mind. Like, there shouldn't be this thing where like you can't do this with white food, or you can't do this with Asian food, or you can't do this with Indian food. You should be able to do whatever you want with any kind of the food, because that's how the best foods are ever made.
Good. Yeah.
Right? Like fusion food. Like, have you ever tried some good fusion food? Like, it's damn good. Bro.
Yes, I nodded. I just realized that they couldn't hear me nod.
Like,
I nodded vigorously. Fusion. I go to Asian fusion places quite a bit. Although specifically Asian fusion, I can't say I've ever tried a different type of fusion. And also, I think a lot of white culture Asian places are fused in the first place. So I'm not really sure what Asian fusion means. But I've been to Asian fusion places, and I personally enjoy that culture of food.
The Chinese food that you get in America and in Canada, a lot of times, like something like Panda Express, right?
Yeah.
That's like American Chinese food. It is not Chinese food.
Not even close.
Like, it is
as far as I've been
furthest
told
from being actual Chinese food. Like, if you served it to a Chinese person, they'd be like, what the heck is this?
American food.
Exactly. Exactly. Thankfully, there's no such thing as really American Korean food necessarily. Like, I've never eaten Korean food at a Korean restaurant here in Canada, and thought like, whoa, that's Americanized. Because like the typical ways of Americanizing a food is dumping sugar in it and dumping salt in it.
Yeah.
Right? If it's sweeter and if it's saltier, then it's more American. But the thing is,
deep fried
Korean food that I've tried here, it's just been shittier. Like, it hasn't been.
But
like,
it's accurate.
It's accurate, but
culturally
it's just a shitty version of it.
Just so people listening to this know, you are half Korean.
I've
been
Korean.
To Korea.
Yes, I'm allowed to insult the Korean food here in Canada.
Yeah, he's got full rights, whereas I am pure white and raised in Canada and have no rights.
Hey, white people have a lot of rights, all right? But let's not talk about this.
Why not?
I don't know. Do you feel like you have a lot of rights, Colin?
Well, yes. Human rights, quite a bit of them, and relentless, unquestionable access to them, frankly.
Yes. I think that's all us.
Very firmly middle class, and I do not worry about access to water, for example. But I was talking about my right to like criticize culture.
I know. I just realized that when I said that.
Yeah.
You don't have rights. Wait, but the thing is, you're allowed to criticize it, even if you're not from that culture necessarily. Like, I think if someone served me Indian food and I thought it tasted bad, I think I have every right to say that it tastes bad.
Yeah. No, I meant to talk about the intricacies of it. Like, wow, this Chinese food shouldn't have sugar and deep fryingness in it. But like, I don't know what regular Chinese food tastes like. I've never been to China.
It's true.
So that's just like cross-cultural knowledge that I'm spitting, you know?
And it probably wouldn't taste good for you. Like, if you went to China and you ate food in China, you'd probably find a lot of the things disgusting.
Yeah.
But that's just a cultural thing, right?
Yeah.
We eat sea cucumber in Korea all the time.
Sea cucumber.
Yeah.
I'd eat sea cucumber.
You'd
That sounds
try it.
interesting.
But the thing is, it's not.
The thing is, I'd try anything.
Me too.
But
I am open.
You're
to trying
probably
new foods.
right. I would probably find Chinese food like boring and bland or something like that along those lines, because I'm so used to having, like, man, I feel like North American food is so crazy. Like, it's this constant corporate competition to make your food better, and like I'm used to that. So I'm used to, like, I don't know, bacon on pizza, and the pizza's not what pizza's originally supposed to be, but it's like this crazy big doughy slice of nonsense with an exorbitant amount of cheese on it. But like, it's not, you know what I'm trying to say, I think.
Yeah, I understand. Asian food involves a lot more texture, I find. Like, Asian food has a lot more texture. I find, like the gelatinous texture, or like the mushy kind of mouthfeel. Like us Westerners, we're like very uncomfortable with that kind of a thing. Like
Mushy mouth.
like tendons or like eyeballs,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Like it might not taste bad, but it would push foreigners away because it would feel weird in their mouth.
Yeah.
Like-
Having watched an extensive amount of North American YouTubers tasting strange things on YouTube, it's often like the texture that drives them away.
Yeah, it's the soft and mushy stuff.
It's interesting.
Like-
I can't say I don't like the texture, but maybe I would have a problem with it. I
You'd
don't
have
know.
to get used to it.
I'd have to get used to it.
In Korea, actually, we do this thing where you know those tiny little octopuses.
Sure.
So
Octopi.
octopi, we cut them while they're still living, their legs and stuff,
Oh.
and then we eat them while they're still squirming. The legs are still squirming,
Yeah.
and like there's this whole thing with like people choking on it because they don't chew on it hard enough because like the suction cups still work, so they still stick to the mouth.
Yeah.
Something like that, I feel like would be super weird for a white person or like a Westerner to eat.
Definitely. Yeah. It sounds unusual to me, but I would totally try it. But like,
You have to chew on it hard. You gotta
Yeah.
murder that son of a bitch.
you have to like actually kill it while it's in your mouth. That's kind of a not Western thing. We prefer our meat to be dead and cooked.
Yeah. Like sushi was a foreign thing, right? It's not. There's almost no
Yeah.
cases of Westerners
Well.
eating raw fish or raw meat before Asian cultures brought it to.
But sushi's like a huge thing in Western culture now.
Mhm.
People love sushi, and it's raw.
People love it now.
You don't have to kill it in your mouth, but the fish isn't cooked to a crisp like your typical strip loin steak is.
But
Well,
still,
actually-
some Westerners feel uncomfortable with sushi because it's raw. Right.
Yeah.
Even though it's like perfectly fine. The way it's prepared, perfectly edible. It's not going to hurt you unless it's bad,
I love it.
right?
Maybe my love for sushi translates to an eventual love for live octopus tentacles in my mouth. But I don't know if it would be a quick transition.
Would you be willing to try like pufferfish sushi?
Yeah.
Even though like
If it
it's
was
not
professionally prepared.
properly,
Yeah.
like
Because
There's a risk.
it's so good when it's prepared properly, or at least I've been told by
but like that would just
The
scare
internet.
me. Like I'm scared of stuff like that. Eating stuff like that,
potentially dying.
potentially dying. Right? I'm allergic to peanuts, and like
Yeah.
that's why peanuts terrify me. So eating something that potentially could have the poison to just like kill me, just scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's a very scary thing to think about, I guess, but there's a reason people do it. Is my, like, I guess I kind of approach it from thinking about, like, well, if it's gonna kill you, shit. But then, like, all these people eat it, so, like, it's gotta be good. So, like, I want to know what they're talking about,
Mhm.
and, like, as long as the chef is professional, you go to, like, a high-class place, then do it. You have to have, like, some crazy license to even buy pufferfish.
That's
So-
true. What's your greatest fear, Colin?
Um. Wow. Probably unfulfilled potential. Unfulfilled potential.
Unfulfilled potential.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
That is a really
I'm
deep
not-
fear.
Scared of heights. I'm not scared of spiders. I'm not scared of, like, typical stuff. But, like, I'm really scared when it comes to spending a whole lot of time on all these things that I spend my time on, and then it coming to nothing. That is a scary thing. I want to have a meaning, purpose.
I get that. I think
Yeah.
most people feel that, right? Except for some people, I guess. Some lazy people who just want to do nothing.
That's interesting.
But
that there's people that are like that.
there are. I've met people like that who would rather just, since their parents are rich, just spend the rest of their life having fun
I am so hardcore the opposite.
and not really doing anything with their life.
I'm a workaholic. I have more hobbies than I can count or keep track of. And I just can't, like, fathom the idea that, like, I won't do something someday that means something to me.
I know.
And
I feel the
people
same,
around me.
except I feel inadequate so often. Like, I feel like a lot of times I'm doing something and I feel like I'm never going to be good enough at it because everyone else is better than me at it. So why try at all? You know? For me, it's just like I constantly realize that I'm not good enough and I just stop doing it. That's why I've done so many things in the past and have just given up.
Stopped. Yeah. I used to do that. I guess I still do that to a certain extent. Like, there's certain things where I just won't do it again because I wasn't good the first time. Skiing is a good example of that. We'll get to that story. But yeah, like, I don't know. Sometimes I find I'll approach something and have a hard time grasping it because I expect a lot of myself. You know, like, I'll go to, like, edit an audio file and I'll expect it to sound, like, fantastic. But then, like, as long as it sounds better than when it started in the first place and, like, adequate for what I'm doing it for, then it's worth my time and I'll get better at it. I guess I've come to learn that. Okay. Yeah. Slowly climbing ladders rather than jumping to the top, which is, like, kind of difficult for me to understand because I used to jump to the top all the time. But
you were in your prime.
Life is challenging me now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was in my prime. Like, I'm talking elementary school. I just knew how to plug in a VCR player when no one else did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been pretty unfulfilling so far in life.
Yeah.
You've been doing better than me.
Well,
I'll give you that.
I try a lot. I mean, yeah, it looks like I'm doing great now because I've been, like, trying hard for a long time. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what scares me?
What?
Failure.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. It's not really the opposite, but it's a different part of your fear. Like, you're afraid of never really reaching.
I'm certainly not scared by failure.
Exactly. But for me, the reason why I give up on things so easily is because I don't want to fail. Yeah. And I just see failure in front of me every time.
It's really tough to get over that fear. It's really tough to say, like, okay, I just fucked this shit, but, like, start again, do it again. You know, like, it's like playing for 2 hours in a video game and making a lot of progress, and then you just don't save and you have to do it all again. It feels like shit. But
failure is the worst feeling ever.
It's awful.
You know, failing at a project.
But you know what redeems that is the feeling of eventually getting it right. Like, it's 10 times better than the failure is bad.
It's hard, man. Like, failing at, like, more important things in life too. Like, failing at being able to be there for your friends.
Oof. Or
failing at a relationship. Or failing just at school, you know? Like, life is tough.
Yeah, there's been
a
lot of failure in your life recently, huh?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't look at it that way.
But let's cheer up a little bit. Take a shot of water. That's some fresh H2O. We are sponsored by water today.
Water.
Drink
lots of it. It's hot outside.
It is very hot outside. It is a solid 30 degrees and rising.
Drinking water is important.
Water is good for humans. It is good for the outside when it's hot. And water is also good for plants. Okay, that's the end of the message. Make sure you use promo code HALFRATE when you're purchasing water next time. You'll get it half off.
Yeah, good luck with that. There's one store somewhere on the internet that will give you that deal, but you have to find it. We're
The
not
half rate, all caps.
we're not allowed to tell you which store it is.
So,
You don't have any weird fears, just like deep philosophical ones?
no. I have real fears. Like, I'm afraid of spiders, and I'm
Okay.
afraid of heights, and I'm also afraid of. I think that's about it, actually. I mean,
Spiders and heights. And you're going to La Ronde
Yeah,
in a
but
couple weeks.
the thing is, I love facing my fear of heights.
Yeah.
I hate
thrilling.
facing my fear of spiders, but my fear of heights, that's exciting shit, okay?
But you don't get anything from facing your fear of spiders.
Except for a smush spider.
Yeah.
And who the fuck wants a smush spider on their wall?
No. But you get like adrenaline rushes from going on a roller coaster.
Yeah, you get those adrenaline boners, you know?
Yeah.
I used to live near Canada's Wonderland, and I would go on rides all the time there. Like, the biggest ones too, like the Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
And the Behemoth. For those who don't know, those are like top 2 rides in Canada. Except for there's one more ride that opened up this year I haven't been to yet. I forget what it's called, but it's like
They
supposed
made
to
a
be.
bigger one.
It's supposed to be like a world record crushing like roller coaster. So like I'm kind of scared to go on it, but next time I'm there, I'm gonna go on it for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason
Love
why
roller coasters.
I gave you that philosophical fear first was just because you had such a philosophical fear. I was like, oh shit. If he says that and I'm like, well, I'm just afraid of spiders and heights, everyone would be like, wow, that guy's shallow.
That's fair enough.
But I am not shallow. I'm afraid of failure. Big spiders, they scare me the most.
Big spiders.
The bigger the fucking spider is, the scarier it is.
They don't really get too big here. No,
I mean,
I don't think so.
the huntsman, huntswoman, no, hunters.
Huntress.
Hunt.
I don't know. I don't
It's
know
a
what you're
hunt
talking
something
about.
spider.
I know nothing about spiders.
It's
I
let
usually
me search
just
this up real
whack
quick.
them with a newspaper and move on.
Let's see. Huntsman spider. I think it's called the huntsman spider.
Huntsman.
Yeah, it's called
spider.
the huntsman spider. I saw one of these in Canada.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're massive, dude.
Whoa, that is big.
They're really big, and
But,
they're
like, But realistically, you're not gonna like wake up to one of those in your bed in the middle of the night.
unless you're at a cottage, or unless you're like
That's why I don't go to
out in
cottages.
the woods.
I guess I'm slightly scared of that too. Then I don't know. I wouldn't call it a phobia though.
They won't call you. They won't like kill you.
I'd be like Jesus, and then I'd hit it, and it would be over. But like, like I'm not terrified. I'm not. There's some people I feel like that are just like fuck. My my stepmom is like petrified of snakes. I went to Arizona with her and my father, and if there was even like one like a slither path or some shit, she'd like sprint for the truck and like seal herself in and like do up the windows and yeah, I don't know how you get that scared of something.
Snakes are scary, man.
I mean, I guess, especially in Arizona, but like she's scared of the ones that are here, and none of them are poisonous, and none of them are.
That's true.
Like,
You're not gonna see a rattlesnake on
it
the
just
road.
doesn't fucking matter. Whatever. You might actually no, you won't. No,
I'm
the
not a fear of
rattlesnakes.
mine.
I heard rattlesnakes. That
Really?
was pretty cool. Yeah,
Are they like?
I thought it was cool. Yeah, like yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd like just be walking along. Like we stopped at like truck stops in the middle of the desert, and like you just like go to the bathroom in some sketchy bathroom, but then you start hearing, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, you gotta run
Yeah.
when you hear that shit.
Yeah.
Like that's why they have it. They're like warning you. They're like, I'm about to fucking kill you, bitch.
Yeah, it didn't actually happen to me, but they have like warning signs, and we definitely heard them off the path and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what else scares me? Country music.
Yeah.
I get shivers every single time I hear country music. It just brings back scary
Fair
memories,
enough.
man.
I mean, it's just kind of boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like.
I'm not actually scared of country music, by the way. I'm just shitting on it because I hate it.
But like those slow strums and those southern accents, they're no appeal to me either.
It's just been overdone.
Definitely.
And like the genre hasn't really done anything new. And the new stuff that it has done lately has just been bad and all the same again. Right? They all copy each other. Jared would hate me for saying this.
Jared likes country music.
Shout out to Jared.
Why does Jared like country
Biggest
music?
fan of country music. Because he's a white guy from the country.
That's true.
Obviously,
That's
he
true.
likes country music.
I guess it's just the default, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some listeners out
Yeah.
there.
I was
who are-
definitely not raised on country music. The music I would listen to in my childhood was mid-2000s pop. And mid-2000s pop wasn't like today's pop. It was
Good.
edgy and like rock and like actually good music as far as I'm concerned. But I guess that's why I tend to move towards rock and punk as like my preferred genre.
I love those genres as well, but I only discovered them last year. Right? Thanks to you.
You're welcome. This bitch used to listen to just whatever was popular on his Spotify. And
I
now
hate my old self
he
for
hates himself.
his music tastes. And like, just like Noah fresh out of high school was, I hated him.
Fuck boy.
I hate him right now. He was not a fuckboy.
No?
He got it. He was a dumbass though. He got into a relationship one day before he left
Yeah.
for school.
Good
Right?
plan.
And then he was in a long distance relationship that he fucks up and breaks up with the girl after a year, right?
Yeah.
Like
So you're occupied for all of first year
all of
university.
first year where I could just be fucking them bitches.
Except you're not actually fucking, and she's long distance, and yeah.
Exactly. So I was just fucking.
It was a pretty bad move, I'm not gonna lie.
I was tied back the entire first year, not being able to do anything, right?
Yeah,
other
except
than
like
call
Skype her
her.
every night.
And Skyping her was like, look, I'm not going to talk shit about her because I did care about her at one point. Right?
Yeah.
But, man, I could have had a better first year.
I mean, I
Right.
could say the same. I was coming off of a breakup too. Well, okay, wait, you weren't coming out. You were going into
I was going
a
into a
relationship.
fucking relationship.
But I did the opposite. I broke up with the girl right at the end of summer before university started. So I was like kind of free, but kind of not entirely over her. So it was a pretty messy year for me too.
You know
but
what?
we good now, I think. I don't know. Are we good? I'm good.
Everything that happened, though, it led me to the person that I am right now.
Definitely.
And I am thankful to everyone who contributed to that and everyone who helped me, you know, get through certain moments in my life. Because, like, you guys were there, you know, other people were there, my parents were there. And I'm thankful that, like, I am now the person that I am. And even though I hate the person that I was, if I wasn't that person, I would not be here right now.
I wouldn't trade a moment of first year for anything.
That first year was so awesome, dude.
It was very experience building. Very, man, it changed me as a person completely. And like
And we're friends
it
thanks
changed
to
all of us as people
that.
completely, and we've become a big group of very close friends that like do everything together. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like I'm in a giant relationship all the time.
If anyone listening to this is going into university, I highly recommend residence. Stay on campus the first year. You'll make such good lifetime friends and have such good experiences, and it's so worth it.
As long
It's-
as you try.
Yeah.
Just try to make friends.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, actually,
I didn't really
okay.
try.
I'm
I just
gonna be
kind of
honest
got
with
pulled
you.
into it.
I kind of got pulled into it too.
Yeah.
I was literally okay. This is the story of how I met, like, a majority of this group. I was lying in bed, right? I was just being a fucking sad person who doesn't spend time with anyone else
Yeah.
other than my then girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just gonna go to bed, but I hear the door open and I hear whispering. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
What's going on?
And then there's like 5 people at my doorway with the light shining in. They're like, hey.
Wait, what?
And I'm like,
I don't remember this. Was I one of those people?
I don't think so.
No.
No, you were downstairs or something. I don't think I met you until a little bit later.
Yeah.
They were like, hey. And then Liam walks in and he's like, Liam's my roommate, by the way. Liam walks in.
At the time.
Yeah. Liam walks in and he's like, hey, wanna come downstairs and hang out with this group of people? And I was like fucking terrified. I'm like, I never met these people. I was about to sleep. Like, now they see me like half asleep. And I was in my bed. And I'm like, fuck it, you know?
Yeah.
Might as well go down. So I went downstairs. I hung out with them that first night. And it was a blast, honestly. Like, they made me open up. I was talking. Noah quotes started on that day.
Yeah.
Something about my dick, but that's most Noah quotes. But Noah quotes started on that day. I don't know.
You got to take those chances.
Exactly.
I love it when I've come to get used to and very much enjoy when life sort of throws you a rope like that. You know, you're kind of like doing nothing or maybe being a little bit sad for whatever reason, and then all of a sudden, like, every time life is just like, here's a thing you can do, and you're like, but I don't want to, but you just fucking take that shit because every time it's so useful and so, I don't know, it just forwards the plot.
You have to take your opportunities. You know, like, if you don't, you're just gonna be stuck wherever you are.
Yeah.
Right? And
you don't want to be stuck.
And like, I am moving on. I'm in a phase of my life where I want to move forward. You know, I'm going back to school this year.
Yeah.
I'm just going to move forward.
Wait,
And
what? You're going back to school?
Yeah. I am going back to school. I'm going to be in second year comp sci again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So
you're in Pat's classes then.
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Anyway, so I'm moving forward. I'm doing stuff with my life. I'm getting OSAP again, thankfully.
Yep.
So I'll find a new job. I'll have work, and I'll have school, and you know, maybe I'll meet new friends, meet new people.
You better not meet new friends, bitch.
Look, I can meet new friends, okay?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But none of the friends will ever be like you guys.
Yeah, we're basically a family.
I really hope that we still are in contact 20 years down the road. Like, I know that might be like, for some people, but like, I've built such a bond with you guys that if I don't leave Ottawa and some of you guys don't leave Ottawa, I want to be friends with whoever those people are for like the next 20 years, next 30 years. I want to retire with these bitches.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
it's a weird thing to think about, and I think some people might be scared by the thought of it, but like, goddamn, you guys are cool people.
I don't mind being friends with you guys, like, for a long time. I almost never. Okay, I do get in fights, but those are just like petty arguments, you know? Like, I feel like the friends that you make in high school are just for high school. But the friends that you make in university are friends for life. Like, my mom has a lot of friends that she still is in contact with from her schooling, like her post-secondary education.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty universal concept. I think a lot of people in high school, like, make friends for shallow purposes, you know? They're just like, I'm friends with you because you also like Doctor Who or playing Minecraft.
Because you're hot.
Yeah, and then it just kind of completely breaks off. But once you get to university, once you have that particular like adulthood transition and you're like, okay, this shit's serious now, you think, okay, friends should be serious now too. And you like look for people that you really have a connection with versus people that are just kind of like there for occasional conversation accompaniment.
And you need those people.
Yeah.
Like, all the difficult times I've been through, my friends have always been there for me, no matter what. They're not going to leave me, right? They're not going to abandon me.
Yeah.
Like, I can depend on them. I can still depend on some friends from high school. Like, if I call them, they'll listen to me, right? Friends are better than most other things.
Yeah. That's your thesis?
Yeah.
Friends are better than most other things.
Because you need friends for almost anything. Right?
Yeah.
If you have friends, you can find jobs easily.
You're a loser if you go to the movie theater alone. That's what I used to get told. And I went to the movie theater alone.
I went to the movie alone like just a few days ago.
Yeah, I know. Pat spied on you and told me you watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood without me. Anyway.
Actually, no, that's bullshit.
What?
I did not watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
But that's what Pat said. Oh, he just said Noah's here. Maybe you were working.
Yeah, I was working.
Fuck, I just assumed you were in the theater.
No.
Okay.
What are some embarrassing high school
always
stories
there.
that you have?
Embarrassing? Oh my god. I don't know.
You didn't do much in high school, did you?
Man, I was cool in high school. I had my place and I had my group of friends and everything was fine in high school. It just had to break apart and change because they all went their separate ways.
I can't imagine.
But I totally wouldn't be friends with those people anymore. Like, as to keep with the previous conversation's theme, I wouldn't be friends with them anymore. But in high school, I was the head of the tech crew and I ran all of the fancy audio-visual events at my high school, and I had a girlfriend, and everything was all quote-unquote put together. I don't know if I had embarrassing moments. Like maybe I'd fuck up like a tech thing, but then I'd fix it again in like 5 minutes and be like slightly embarrassing, I guess. It's not like I ever got like you look at like high school on TV and like kids are getting nudes of themselves sent around the whole school. That shit doesn't happen. At least not that I know of.
No, it doesn't really happen, but it sometimes happens.
It didn't happen to me. Nobody's ever seen my nudes. I don't think I've ever taken nudes. Who the fuck would take those?
I don't know why anyone would take nudes.
Actually, I have seen nudes in high school in grade 9 before I found my true path. I was friends with a bunch of idiot guys, your typical like popular guys, and
they would share nudes with
they showed me nudes from girls, and I was like, I don't know if I was like, it probably interested me at the time, but it's not like I went anywhere with it. It wasn't like, what's the point of that? Like, who wins? Does anyone win?
Nobody wins in that.
Maybe like your dick for 10 minutes.
The thing that embarrasses me most about high school is not like one particular moment, but it's how fucking nerdy I was.
Really?
Like, what a loser I was. Like, at least for the first 2 years. I fully
embraced that shit, and I still do.
For the first 2 years, I was actually such a loser. At least looking back at it now, I feel like I was a loser. And the second half of high school, grade 11 and 12, I wasn't as much of a loser, but I couldn't tell when girls were hitting on me. Like, I really could not tell. And thinking about a lot of conversations and interactions I had with certain girls, like, it makes me think, if I was a little bit smarter then, if I could like clue in on
emotionally intelligent
certain things, yeah, I would have had like a solid fucking 4 relationships in high school. Because I know those wouldn't have gone a long time, but
yeah,
like
man, in my first year of high school, I was friends with a bunch of idiot guys, like I said, like just whoever was in my fucking gym class or whoever I went to grade 8 with, and I don't even know, like, I don't care to know what they're doing nowadays because they're the kind of people that go into nothing, you know, just kind of fade off and maybe have like some dead-end job. But then in grade 10 in the second year, I took art class and I sat down with a bunch of like random girls I'd never met from a different elementary school and made really close friends with them, and like I think I developed quite a extensive emotional intelligence. And that helped me a lot throughout my high school years, and the creativity and then the like connections and stuff, and I just from there, like, they taught me how to actually make friends, so I made like friends with all sorts of people, and here we are.
Hey, I like the Colin that I know now, so
I think I'm pretty cool.
yeah, I think you're pretty cool too. I wouldn't change a single thing about you, except for the fact that you don't have a soul.
I'd say my hair is like an inch too long right now, but that's maybe it.
My
Lose a couple
scruff
pounds.
is getting pretty long right now, but I'm planning on growing that beard. Yeah, that's it. I'm saying it on a podcast, so it's a commitment. I am growing a beard, everybody. I mean, I'm sure nobody listening to the podcast knows what I look like, because it's a podcast. But I'm growing a beard.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
We've covered like all of the topics you wrote on your whiteboard.
Yeah.
And pretty smoothly without any awkward High School Musical transitions.
That's a reference to the first episode, by the way, where I awkwardly scream out High School Musical because they kept talking about my farts and I was feeling uncomfortable.
There's an embarrassing moment for you.
That was an embarrassing moment, and it's recorded. And if you guys want to check it out, we have another podcast called The Fourth Rate. It airs every Sunday. It's just four of us talking together. It features me, Colin, Noreen, and Sam. This was The Half Rate. Thank you for listening. It was a pleasure talking to you again, Colin.
Yeah.
See you next week.
All right. Sounds good. Bye.
Oh, and be sure to like and subscribe.
Shut up.